Who do you like for number one?
Danny got pictures of somebody.
Oh, you know that guy that plays, at that place. Here's what they did on Thursday night with all those first-round picks. They go with Hendricks out of Central Florida.
Which you saw in the mock draft, because we predicted it.
Who's we? Meaning
Me.
you? Yeah.
Jared wasn't on that show.
Nope. At number 16, George. And then at Sensabaugh at number 28. All right, so what do we think of Utah? I mean, they've got quite... And by the way, we should also mention with all those picks, they also got Walker Kessler, who is looking like...
Shot blocking machine.
Right. He's going to be a stud moving forward.
Sensabaugh can't defend. That's why he dropped. That's why he didn't play it right at the end of the season for Ohio State. That's a problem. Keontae George's got to stay healthy. Didn't reach his potential Baylor. I know in just 1 year. And Hendricks, love the potential, but a little under the radar. So in a way, you've got three guys with some flags, as to how good they can be. I don't know if there's necessarily a lot of certainties in all three.
Yeah, maybe not the certainty, but you do see some upside in these picks, and that's what Utah is searching for in the draft. They're looking for upside guys that maybe they're not going to play this year, might not play right away, but we look 2 or 3 years down the line, you're like, oh, that turned out to be a great pick as they develop some of these younger players.
Yeah. They had Lowry Marketing, another great trade by Danny Ainge. They've got Colin Sexton. They've got some other young guys that have the promise. And again, I'd be stunned if the roster stays the same between now and October for Danny Ainge. I think they've got some more moves to make. Let's go to the Dallas Mavericks. As I mentioned, going to break. This is a massive summer for Nico Harris and the Dallas Mavericks basketball operations department. Not only do they have to figure out the Kyrie Irving situation, but they've got to get more around Kyrie and Luka to help them, to complement them. And here's what Dallas did. It was a massive night for the Dallas Mavericks. First and foremost, they make a trade that is an unusual one in that they move back in the draft and give away a player in Davis Bertans. And the reason why that worked is Bertans is making a lot of money. That helps Dallas get out from underneath his salary. And that gives Dallas this trade exception. Not only did they get out from underneath Bertans' money, but they moved back and still got the guy that many people believe is exactly who they wanted in Derek Lively from Duke at the 12th pick.
Love this pick. One of my favorite picks in the draft because what Derek Lively has done and what he can become. He is an active player, can block shots from the strong side, from the weak side. He's barely scratched the surface offensively. He had to take up a little bit more responsibility at times when Dariq Whitehead was out. Didn't shoot as much because he didn't need to because of Kyle Filipkowski, who's returning to Duke. And yet, Lively told me in Chicago, look, I can shoot it. I just wasn't allowed to or expected to at Duke. I love this pick for Dallas.
Yeah, I love this pick as well. If you watched the Dallas Mavericks last year, what was...
By the way, here's the hat swap.
Oh, the hat swap? Okay.
Can we just get this right moving forward? Can we please just announce the teams with the trades moving forward, please?
That really bothers you. You hate that.
It's just...
Every single year, brother.
Like, we're going to look back at these pictures. Like, can we just put the guys in the right hats, please? We all know it. Everybody's on Twitter. We all know the trades have been made.
Would you see that the NBA was making sure?
Everything that's going on in the badness world, that's what really bothers you, huh? Those damn hats.
Do you have the Cleveland hat?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. All right, there you
I still
go.
have the Cleveland hat.
Michael Finley compared Derek Lively to Tyson Chandler.
Yes, that's a very good comp. Because Lively is active like Tyson, bouncy, can finish around the rim. You're not going to run many plays for him, but that's not where his value is. His value is in the fact that he can guard in the pick and roll. He's very good at drop coverage. He gives you rim protection, and he's able to finish in the paint. And Dallas missed that last year. They couldn't score inside. They couldn't defend inside. They couldn't rebound. They couldn't get extra opportunities at the basket. So this Lively pick was a home run. Nico Harrison hit this one out of the park.
How about this? Not only was Dallas getting Lively in the draft, but in that same vein, when they gave away a player to move back, they then received, on the receiving end of a similar deal later in the draft, when they received Rashawn Holmes from the Sacramento Kings, who had a breakout year a couple of years ago but couldn't find rotation minutes under Mike Brown, and now he had some depth to the front court for Dallas.
Same thing. We just talked about how Dallas needed to get some more beef inside. Active, young, athletic bodies. Holmes had a very good year previously. Then this year, he just found himself out of the rotation. And I think it's a match made in heaven. He'll have ample opportunity to play in Dallas, and they'll really enjoy what he brings to the table because they need it.
All right, going back to that first trade that Dallas made with OKC that dropped Dallas from 10 to 12, they traded with Oklahoma City, and Oklahoma City adds to their young crop of talented players. By the way, they made the play-in last year. Like this is a team, we're talking about Orlando in the East. This is a team in the West that many people feel like is absolutely going to contend, not just for play-in, but maybe a playoff spot. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they've got Williams, who is an all-rookie player, and Chet Holmgren's coming back, and now they had Cason Wallace. My question is, for the college basketball expert here, they've got SGA and Josh Giddey, ball handlers. How does Cason Wallace find minutes and crack the rotation for Mark Daniel?
Because he defends.
Part of it.
First game of the season against Michigan State, or first big game of the season, he had 8 steals.
Wow.
He's got a skill set that can get him on the floor. So even if he's in the second unit, you know you're bringing him on the basketball court to defend, to make things happen, get in the passing lanes. He's going to do that first. His offensive game will continue to develop. We have seen with Kentucky guards, they've ended up being better offensive players in the NBA than they were at Kentucky. We'll see if that trend continues. And they're adding, essentially, Holmgren as well.
Right.
So it's really Holmgren and Wallace.
Yeah, I agree. I think that as Wallace starts to develop in this league, he'll be more and more valuable to this team. He brings that defensive tenacity and toughness right away, and he's learning to play the point guard position. This guy in high school was playing the center at one point. So
short team.
Yeah, exactly. They were a small ball team, but normally you don't see a guy play the center in college and step onto Kentucky's court and be a point guard. So he's still trying to figure out those reads, when he should attack, when he should get off the ball, when he should look to score. Those are things that he's developing right now, but I still do like the pick.